Hello everybody, happy Christmas. It is December, it's that magical time of year. I hope you're ready and have your plans all in hand for what should be and will be, I promise you, a spectacular 4 weeks. There's so much going on. The last couple of weeks I've been up to so much, and so much is happening in 2024 that we weren't expecting. We've got Toyah shows going in, we've got Toyah headline shows going in at the festivals, as well as Toyah and Robert. I'm thinking about new music, which I now have the opportunity to do now I'm not on the road. It's at least going to be an EP that's going to come out. Love is the Law is being prepped for re-release. Can't wait for that one because that's one of my happiest albums that I was ever involved with. There's 2 movies in the pipeline. There's also a radio show in the pipeline. So 2024 is looking really busy, very wonderful, quite surprising. There will be a short Toyah tour. There's going to be a Toyah and Robert Christmas tour, and there's going to be both of us headlining Toyah and Robert Toyah headlining festivals. So it looks like it's going to be a really busy year, and I'm really excited about it. Have I done all my Christmas shopping? Well, I've done most of it. His lordship is my priority, and that's mostly done. I now have to wrap everything to stop him nosing in boxes, which he does all the time. I find him in here sniffling around the sofa, his sofa, because he has one sofa where all his presents are, and I find him just poking around trying to have a look at things. So my task today is to get everything wrapped. So the first thing I want to show you on this very special Toyah at Home Christmas edition is that my version, or Robert and our version of Relax with Trevor Horn, has been released, and this is on his album Ancient and Modern. Hello, I'm Toyah Wilcox.
And I'm Robert Fripp.
And together we have re-recorded Relax with Trevor Horn. When he started to work with Frankie Goes to Hollywood, he took the anarchy of punk, the brilliance of classic arrangements, but also the upbeat heart of popular music, and married it all together. And he's gone way beyond that since then. For me, he's one of the most important sound engineers, musicians, and producers of modern music.
I added the guitar in Oxfordshire, yes, although I'm not sure it's made much of an impression. Nevertheless, I am proud and honoured to be on the track.
What Trevor has done with the new version is taken them into the present day, the present time, with a new interpretation.
Relax, don't do it when you wanna go to it. Relax, don't do it when you wanna come.
I never thought I'd do another version of Relax. I had an idea of slowing it down, and we did that version, and then without telling me, Tim took it, did a little bit of work on it and put a vocal on it. Suddenly I started to really like it. And I had this picture of seeing if we could get, humanoid robots, ladies that the Japanese are making, to mime to it. Tim did something weird with his vocal, but check it out.
Relax, don't do it when you wanna go to it. Relax, don't do it.
Somebody sent me a link to Toyah and Robert, and there they were doing Slave to the Rhythm with Simon Darlow. And I suddenly thought, why not Robert and Toyah? So when Robert came to play on it, listen to what he did with it.
So that's a little bit of history about how Relax came into the world. And I just want to say it was me, Toyah, as a solo artist, who got the call from Trevor Horn to come and sing on it. And I suggested that Robert should do the guitar work as well. We loved doing it. We really feel so honoured and so proud to be on this incredible album produced by the genius Trevor Horn. Another artist on the album, from Rick Astley to Tori Amos, oh, fantastic, to Iggy Pop. It's just brilliant, and I hope you managed to get it, and I hope you enjoy it as well. So Christmas, for me, is about very good memories. I like to focus on the Christmases that went well, and all through my life, I have always focused on getting home for Christmas Day. There was only two Christmases where I didn't make it home. One when I was busking in Trafalgar Square and got picked up by the police because we weren't allowed to be doing that. But that was in the punk heyday. That was about 1977, I think that happened. And the other was, I was doing pantomime in Norwich, but Robert was with me, and we had the most beautiful day with the producer and his family, and that was just gorgeous. But while my parents were alive, I always tried to make it home to make a fuss of them. Now it's just me and Robert. We just tend to just snuggle into this room or our bedroom, eat and watch tons of telly and open presents. But my Christmas is surrounded by the memories of my family home. So this Bakelite Father Christmas, which for some reason pivots, I have no idea why. I mean, he doesn't open up or anything, he just pivots. That is older than me. I was born in 1958, and this has been around since the 1940s. And then my mum used to buy Scandinavian style Christmas decorations. So these come out every Christmas, and they're just sweet, and they're fun, and they make me think of fir trees and snow and sleds. And a great tradition, a Scandinavian tradition, I believe, is the Christmas elves. And they come out. These are so old and so bendy, and every year I have to package them up in a very safe way just to make sure they last even longer than they have. Now, I remember, I think I was about 7 when I was with my mother on Broad Street in Birmingham, and we went into Lee Longland's, one of my favourite shops in the world for furniture, and these were there for sale, and I remember buying those with my mum. And then in later years, my mother really got into these kind of things. Decorative fairies, Father Christmases made of tin. So they all come out because Christmas, for me, is about remembering past Christmases as well as creating new memories. This, and this really tatty cardboard, is just post-war. And this was my mother's, could have been my father's, I don't know, but it's a compressed card. It's just extraordinary. So that comes out and sits on the mantelpiece as well. Another memory I'm going to share with you is a Christmas where I was invited to perform The Vow, which was my Christmas single in 1983. And Breakfast TV invited me to come and perform that on the show. And they wanted me to do something that I wanted to do that was like a dream come true, a bucket list thing. And just to be absolutely crazy and off the wall, I said to them, oh, I would love to go shopping at Liberty's on Regent Street on a white horse. So here this is. Here is that moment. Christmas, 1983, and the song is The Vow.
Now, if you're out to do a little late-night shopping, where better than at, say, Liberty's, in the heart of London's West End. The store's all dressed up for Christmas, and Toyah is adding her own special brand of glamour with an entrance fit for a star. Transport here provided by Messenger, an old friend of Toyah's who must be the first horse ever to set hoof in the sumptuous surroundings of Liberty's.
Good evening. How are you? Do you have a lovely red scarf for me?
Certainly. How about this one?
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you. Could you charge it to my account?
Yes, certainly, madam.
Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening.
Thank you. Goodbye.
In every waking hour, I miss you.
Bags. Could I take 2 bags, please?
Ooh, certainly.
Do you think you could gift wrap them for me, just at the handle?
Like this?
That's wonderful, thank you. Want to put them across Fido. That's beautiful. That's great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
If another planet has survived
Ah, belts. Could I take that studded one, the star-studded one? That's wonderful. Thank you very much. Please place it on my account. Thank you. Good evening.
Whoa. The items you ordered are ready, madam.
Right.
Would you like me to wrap them for you?
Oh, no, I'll take them myself. Diamante. Splendid. Brascott. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Just the right way. Thank you.
There we are.
Thank you. See you soon. Yes, thank you, but I'll have to come back another day and try them on. Can't park the horse. I need 200 cards. Put them on my account. That's beautiful. That's wonderful. That's just right. Yes, please. On my account. Now that's what I call real service.
How bonkers is that? Now, I remember when we were shooting that, because we had to shoot it quite late at night when the shop was closed, and they actually allowed a horse into the shop. Liberty's is just the most extraordinary and beautiful shop in the world, and everything about it is exquisite. And they allowed me to ride a horse around it. It was just phenomenal. I had a horse trainer with me because the horse had to be trained to be calm in that environment, even though it was very quiet and there was very few people around. But I remember at this particular time, 1983, both Liberty's and Harrods had a chocolate factory where they made their chocolates on site. And I was so preoccupied with trying to get into the chocolate factory that every time I wasn't on the horse, I was trying to break in to where they stored the chocolates. Never made it, never made it. But I do remember that my very first bass player in the Toyah band worked in the Harrods chocolate factory. So it meant we always had these beautiful handmade chocolates that weren't quite good enough to sell to the public. And I felt the same way about Liberty chocolates. Because you could see where they were making them by hand, and you'd have these enormous squares that were white chocolate filled with cream and praline. Oh, they were just amazing. So I remember I just kept riding around the store on the horse and looking out for the door to open to the chocolate factory. I'm very grateful for that memory because that was really quite an extravagant thing to do and also quite bizarre. But I just loved it. And it sums up the 80s in some way. The 80s was purely decadent. I have another really lovely Christmas memory, which was 2016, when I received a star on the Broad Street Birmingham Walk of Fame. And I just loved it. It was presented to me by the comedian Jasper Carrott, who organises these stars, along with West Side Bid, which is part of the Birmingham business side. and they made such a fuss, and I gave a live performance in the Birmingham Rep studio with Mike Nichols on double bass and the rest of the band. And we're just going to show you a clip of it, because Craig Ashley, who was there, he says, I have my own footage of the only ever performance, I believe, in Father Christmas from this particular show. So let's show you a small clip, never seen before.
They sold me a dream of Christmas. They sold me a silent night. They told me a fairy story till I believed in the ocean lights. And I believed in Father Christmas. I looked to the skies with excited eyes till I woke with a yawn in the first light of dawn. I saw him and through his disguise. They said there'd be snow at Christmas. They said there'd be peace on earth. Hallelujah, Noel, be it heaven or hell. The Christmas we get, we deserve.
Oh my goodness, what a memory. I absolutely love it. It was a fantastic evening. And I believe my star, because they had to take all the stars up to put the tram lines down in Birmingham, which happened during lockdown. I believe my star is next to Julie Walters at the View Cinema near Five Ways roundabout. I love it. I just love it. Such a beautiful thing. And on our wall in our kitchen, we have a miniature version of this that just replicates the big star on Broad Street. It's a really lovely thing to have. And on the rare occasions I get to walk down Broad Street, I always head for that star to get a selfie next to it. I mentioned earlier that Craig Ashley and the team, Danny Keane and Cherry Red, are getting ready for the deluxe re-release of Love is the Law in 2024. I'm very excited about this. It's one of my favouriteest pieces of album making and writing music with Joel and with Simon Darlow. We had a lot of time to just do demos and write the songs before we went into the studio. Now this time was created because I was starring in a play in London called Trafford Tansy about a female wrestler, and I was in that for I think at least 4 months before I went on to make the movie Ebony Tower with Sir Laurence Olivier. And it was so wonderful to have this luxury of moving a studio into my house, writing the demos, and then I would go off in the evening and do my play, and then I'd meet Simon Darlow and Joel Bogan and the band again at around 11 in the evening after the play, and we'd record the album through the night. Believe it or not, I had enough energy to do this. It was fabulous. And outside the Mermaid Theatre, where I was performing Trafford Tansy, the fans were camping outside. There was about 300 camping for the entire run of the play. And there was a tunnel that went kind of away from the theatre, and they were camping in the tunnel, they were camping in the car parking area. And then they'd follow me when the cars came to take me to the Marquee Studios in the West End, where I'd work all night. And there was one track, Love is the Law, where we got quite a large amount of fans from outside the studio into the studio and got them to sing the title track and the BVs to that song. It's just the most perfect memory for me, and I'm very grateful. Another perfect memory for me was Drury Lane. Now, this was the Old Grey Whistle Test, a very renowned music show that I first started watching, I think, when I was about 13 years old, possibly younger. Always went on late at night, and it had a whole mixture of very diverse artists, from Alice Cooper right through to Roxy Music, David Bowie, King Crimson. And eventually I started to appear on the Old Grey Whistle Test myself. But on Christmas Eve 1981, I was the star headline at Drury Lane Theatre for the live concert that went out on either BBC Two or BBC One. We had 12 million viewers, went out live, I believe, from 10 o'clock till 11 o'clock. Oh, it's just the most magnificent memory of my life. Shall we take a peek at it?
What do you wanna be?
Free, 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 free,
Ah, big hair, big sound, fabulous theatre. The late Phil Spalding on bass, Simon Phillips on drums. We had Adrian Lee on keyboards and of course Joel Bogan on guitar. One of the most magnificent and happiest days of my life. Yay! So as I mentioned at the top, we're getting ready for Christmas here. One of the really beautiful things about the last couple of weeks is we've been around to meet up with friends we have not seen all year because it's been such an incredible year and we've been on the road for so long. So it's got this wonderful cozy feeling of friendship, catching up, eating good food, gossiping, telling wonderful stories. So far, it's been a fabulous run up to Christmas and I'm really excited. On New Year's Eve, I have a concert at Birmingham Symphony Hall with Carol Decker, Denise from 5 Star, Denise Pearson, and it's going to be BBC Radio 2's party. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait because Symphony Hall in Birmingham is on Broad Street, so it's really going to be rocking for 24 hours. It's going to be a non-stop party, and I hope if you're in the area, you can make it. So it goes without saying, I wish you all happy Christmas. You will be hearing a lot from me and Robert. Of course, we have upbeat moments tonight, and tomorrow's Sunday lunch is a trip down memory lane. We're going to be doing a Christmas Sunday lunch, and I think a New Year's Day Sunday lunch for you in the next 4 weeks. That's going to be pretty crazy. And in the meantime, we are going to go out from a show, Pop Goes Xmas, which is 1982, and this is my performance of I Believe in Father Christmas. Have a fantastic December, everybody. See you very, very soon, and lots of love from Toyah. Mwah!
They said there'll be snow at Christmas. They said there'll be peace on earth. But instead it just kept on raining. A veil of tears